Welcome to today's presentation of F-Zero 99, which just released earlier today as announced on the Nintendo Direct. And this is the first F-Zero release in nearly 20 years, I think. And it's a reworking, or at least a reimagining of the original F-Zero released on the Super Nintendo back in 1990. With some of the 99-player mechanics previously seen with Tetris and Pac-Man on this platform, as well as the dearly departed Super Mario 35, which is one of the great lost Nintendo titles already. Now, I'll be the first to admit I'm not exactly a major F-Zero aficionado, in spite of having grown up with the Super Nintendo. I am, however, using the Super Nintendo controller today, which is officially supported. Which is to say, when I say officially supported, all it means is that the capture and home buttons are actually bound to ZL and ZR instead of just being left unavailable and adrift. And we haven't conducted any multiplayer races yet, but you can see a bit of experience in the top bar for level 1 because we have previously done the tutorial content before logging into this game for the purposes of the stream. The tutorial consists of a 25-player CPU race, a 50-player CPU race, and then a 99-player CPU race just to get you acclimatized to the format. I would assume that the actual multiplayer game is going to be something quite a bit more aggressive and chaotic, but we'll see exactly how that goes. Let's take a look. We're not exactly warmed up here. I played a tutorial a couple hours ago and it became available. And yes, we are going to go with the Wild Goose. I think given the format that we're working with here, we want to err on the side of durability, at least until we know what we're doing. So let's stick with that, and if we want to change things up later, today's a good day to experiment while everybody's still learning this. Sand Ocean or Deathwind? What will we start with today? Oh, I hadn't actually really selected, but sure, we'll be on Deathwind. And we've got 4 rivals in C-. I read the tip sheet pretty quickly, but I guess we'll have to compensate for the wind effect. We've got this massive 99-player starting lane. I don't actually know the starting boost timing in this game, so I was hoping we could just do the typical F-Zero thing and just do the rocket boost and try to get bumped by somebody from behind, but that clearly failed on me here. Anyway, let's drive. This is even busier than I imagined. We don't have a boost yet. Oh, we've passed 1 lap finish line, so we finally get to push up ahead into the crowd. And burn way too much power in doing so. Need to refresh this somehow. Probably by just smoking somebody out of here. Or by repairing slightly. Let's remember how to drift here using the L and R triggers. I actually have already forgotten how to get into the Skyway with the Super Boost, but I guess we're nearly building that. I am kind of in the middle of the tank right now. We're not going to be safe for very long, by the looks of it. Anyway. We need to replenish a lot more health before we... anyway, Super Boost. Sure, let's get up here. Okay. And if we see anybody we can go for, anybody who's smoking, we'll just boost into them. I think that's probably the play you're supposed to make, too. You can hardly see the terrain here, actually. Ahead of us, you really do need to know the courses. Power down already? Yeah, that did not work. That's alright. We're still learning. That was literally the first race. And we get to be the lucky bumper. Again, I read about this in a tip sheet. I guess we crashed out early enough that we just get to cause a bit of havoc. I guess you just bombard somebody once and that'll be it. So yeah, we crashed out. I don't know if that gives us any kind of rank or if it just... Well, I mean, by order of destruction. But that was the first run, so not exactly a good example of racing, but let's learn it. As usual with games like this, I don't particularly care about unlockables and rewards. I just want the core experience to be splendid. That doesn't account, of course, for why I do occasionally go back to Tetris 99 for some of the thematic skins that are released to promote other new Nintendo games from time to time. At least we have that as a practice course. I didn't even think about compensating for winning that entire course. I don't think that became relevant to us. And yeah, so we do need to launch the marker in the top right for when it becomes yellow to make the spin attack available. We'll stick with Wild Goose for the time being, since we're clearly burning tons of durability, until we learn some of the core mechanics. This will take some practice. Let's go Sand Ocean this time. And, well, that barely tips us over, so... Voter apathy doesn't pay. And yeah, it shows you the Skyway as well in the preview, which is an interesting touch. We're going to start all the way on this end. Okay, trying to figure out the good boost timing here, but we don't have a boost available yet until the first finish line, as I think I established, so we'll just need to race well at the beginning and let the track narrow down after the entry location. There we go, here's boost. And then... yeah, okay. That was a bad bump, but... let's just remember how to turn corners in this game. Oop. I have to scope out a kill at some point. We're really way down in health. We're gonna crash out pretty soon, actually. Let's go cautiously and try to replenish at the next finish line before we do anything really reckless. It's not nearly enough. We've got the Super Boost. Why don't we just take it? Try to get back on track a little bit. And yeah, we're getting punished like crazy. It would be nice to finish a race. I mean, we're still learning, of course. But like I said, not exactly an F-Zero veteran here. We are in great peril. And yeah, someone just went straight for me, having scouted out the power down as a target. And yet we managed to finish ahead of 3 other C- rivals, which I suppose tells us just how low our rating truly is. Didn't even finish one lap. Finished 1 lap, I guess. Alright, let's just stay on Wild Goose for the time being, or maybe we can change it up. We can... we're doing poorly enough anyway, let's actually just play around and see what we can do. Back to good old Blue Falcon, perhaps. Just to have a bit of balance here. And sure, let's keep unlocking. Big Blue is one tutorial track, so I think it is available in training right from the start, but we are, of course, incentivized to just see as many new tracks as possible, as we did learn from Super Mario 35. If you do want to experience the unlocking process this early in the life of the game. Alright, let's try to boost on the third beat once again. Not terrible, I suppose. And yeah, you can actually change the inclination of your jump. And it's quite necessary in some cases, as they can one of the very well-known jumps in the original F-Zero that requires that mechanic in a somewhat undocumented fashion. down to 63. Yeah, we got to take some risks here, but maybe closer to the end of the lap when we know that we're close to replenishment. Let's just try to drive for the time being and go over the blue patch here in Lake Blue. And once we get up to full, now we start boosting again and just, you know, try to maintain health at about half. And just surviving the first part of the race while it thins out is fine until we get into trouble with the later safe thresholds, perhaps. I don't know how many laps it goes to because, of course, we haven't finished the race yet, and we don't know how tightly the safe threshold is going to condense on us. But right here at replenishment, so let's just grab that. Alright. And then let's just get up here while we have the opportunity. Okay. To a certain extent, we do just need to drive better and not bump so much. Then, as we see the lap coming... Oh, final lap already, okay. Alright, so the safe threshold, at least at this level, is not too bad. We might not finish particularly well, but as long as we survive and stay ahead of the rivals, we're not in the worst situation. Try to bump somebody at some point if we see them smoking. Hopefully not see ourselves smoking, which is actually imminently about to be the case. We're not careful. Yeah, hitting power down right at the end there. And finishing in the top 50. Okay. Slight improvement. Slight improvement. And we finished a race, which is important. That's an accomplishment by our standards. Had a good lap in the middle there because of the big boost we managed to push through. Actually, no, that's because we took the Skyway. That's why we had such an excellent lap time. Okay, let's stay with Blue Falcon, why don't we? So that seemed to handle reasonably well without the durability becoming a significant issue. On one of the easier courses, mind you. Literally level 2 of the original game. As iconic as the music tends to be. Grand Prix starting on the hour. We'll amass some tickets for that. Yeah, we'll start with Blue Falcon for the time being. Let's go Sand Ocean again. Not that we've successfully asked either of these. 50-50 on that vote. Maybe it's just a coin flip. We'll need to learn all of these anyway. Only 15 tracks in the original game, and so there are only so many to select from. If it is limited to that, but let's try the opening boost thing again, where we just try to park in front of somebody and give them push. Yeah, you pull back on these jumps. Very important to do so, if you can. Just to get over the rough. And then this is utter chaos. Already losing some durability here. No wonder everybody goes for the repair right off the start. Yeah, you have to watch the rough patches because they're barely visible in this crowd. So we're behind for now, but that's okay. We'll stay back a little. Actually, no. Bad idea. We're taking so much damage. Okay. Get some repair going. Then try to get on the pad as well. We're way down in rank. We need to catch up a bit. Take a few risks. Boosting through this segment to get over to rough is actually maybe a good idea. If we're going to pick any segment at all. And then we even get a decent repair on the Skyway, which is nice. But I guess maybe that overlaps with the standard repair track as well, so you don't find yourself at a disadvantage. Then, yeah, just trying to stay alive here as get through a few additional laps. Not going to boost too much at the moment until we see people smoking. Okay, now we can. It's the opportunity to rise up. We're about to get onto Skyway anyway, though, so maybe we should do that first. Then we can boost on the Skyway. I think maybe that's a good way to do it since we're relatively clear of obstructions. Okay. Then we're going to hit repair here, so let's just boost into it. Oh, getting a bit risky here. We haven't really had much occasion to use the spin attack because we haven't seen people vulnerable. But okay, still improving. And yet, behind the other two. Okay, we're sticking with Blue Falcon. Look, they finished just ahead of me. Very, very close. Yeah, saving our boost while we're on the Skyway clearly worked out fairly well. Let's keep going. And yeah, we'll stay in Big Blue. We're still learning. Actually, no, we haven't completed Sand Ocean yet. We should have done that in case... Well, I mean, not that it mattered with this vote, but... Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been 50-50 earlier. It would have been 50-49 because there are 99 players. Alright, let's go. No. Starting up and missing. Since we're playing with the Super Nintendo D-pad, we're using the old-fashioned method of just tapping the inputs whenever possible. Okay. Boost up in the pack early? I think we do. Everybody else is doing it too. Then at least you get yourself out of any issues with falling behind a safe threshold on the first lap. That's a lot of incoming damage already on lap 1. It's a major issue here. Yeah, we haven't really learned how to go on the attack yet. That's something that I'm extremely aware of. Okay, we're going to save any boosting for after we hit the Skyway because we're fairly close to doing so. Now let's boost. Oh, missing pads as always. Not great. Okay, repair's coming, so let's boost into it. And then we have to use the drift much more successfully than we've been doing. Just one consideration here in terms of our basic F-Zero racing technique. Yeah, taking quite a few hits, so... Alright, let's get healed up, and then... We're almost at the Skyway once again, so let's let it fill. Now we boost. We'll try to hit boost pads whenever possible. We've got plenty of health. We can probably afford to be a bit aggressive. Everybody else is thinking the same thing. We're getting to the finish line here, and then we sail right across. 29, still improving. Very slowly, but steadily. Wow, it looks like we have the #1 finisher, if I'm reading that correctly, as one of our rivals that time. Is that the case? The one who... No, okay. So the one was probably just saying who was first among our group. Perhaps. Anyway, let's continue. And yeah, you can tell where we managed to boost up above. Great lap bonus. Again, I don't particularly care about the leveling up in the unlocks at the moment. We'll worry about all that once we've played as much as possible. There's a lot of action packed into 2 or 3 minutes. A communication error has occurred. Let's try again. Hopefully not too many of those. Network performance and the races themselves has been very smooth so far. If there are any disconnections or inconsistencies, as there very often are, whoops. We hadn't had to deal with them so much so far, but let's see. Maybe the servers are just having a moment here. Can we get in? Very much like to. Okay, Sand Ocean I think we actually haven't successfully done yet, right? So, but Deathwind is going to win out. Yeah, it looks like we're just having an early selection. It might be based on what people in the pool have unlocked so far, and if it's anything like SMB 35, where as you play more of the game, perhaps the track selection spreads out because, you know, by probability, it's more available to the existing player base that's in here. Okay. Anyway, fairly gentle entry here. Oh, we're in top 10 or so and the entry point, which is surprising, but missing that boost is a problem. Okay, let's try to get out ahead a little bit, just past the rough here on Deathwind. We know it's a while to the first repair at this point. We've seen this enough to understand a few of the dynamics. We don't want to crowd too much around the central boost. It's actually not to our benefit, because we just lose durability that we could be using for speed instead. So I think crowding the boost pads is actually not necessarily to our benefit unless we're pretty confident we can hit. This is a good area to boost again, so we don't need to worry about terrain. Let's not forget about the drift button. And yeah, we have to drift to compensate for wind here. The effect is pretty hard to see with all the visual noise that we're dealing with, but okay. Comparatively reasonable shape here. Even if we are in the middle of the pack and about to power down. Ooh, yikes, we targeted very shortly unless we make it. Yeah, good. Just barely. We're not going to last very long, though, under these conditions. Yeah, I got to let up a little bit while we just try to stay alive. If we can snipe somebody, that would be best, because then maybe we can get something done. Huh, Andre GX is there. He's the Game Explain guy. I recognize his handle. We get to be way back in the back of the pack with him. Game Explain content farm. Anyway, that was awful. And yeah, how do we do? Pretty badly, but hey, look, Andre crashed out at 93. At least we have that to record in evidence. We don't get on with his content, so anyway. Yeah, there is a way to see people who are on your friends list on the leaderboard, but I don't know what happens if any of them are seeded into the same race. whether there's any indication of people who you actually know, should you be fortunate enough to share a lobby with them. Everything is random queue at this point. There's no private party or private team selection, so. But maybe if you queue simultaneously, you can get into the same lobby, as is often the case with many games like this, where you have some group coordination. We have not yet seen Mute City in the context of multiplayer race, 5049, huh? Alright, back to Big Blue it is. Alright, let's go. And very average start. Getting a little bit of airtime here is be fine, and then let's boost out of that. Yeah, it takes a certain amount of muscle memory with F-Zero to know when to let up on the gas and drift. Is it gas necessarily? You know what I mean. Let up on whatever form of propulsion is in use in the 26th century. Anyway, when we see the finish line ahead of us and the replenishment station ahead of us, the pit stop, that's when we go for the boost, and then also when we have a chance at a skyway, which is nice, clear sailing without too much collision risk for at least a little bit. Again, we still haven't really found opportune moments to use the spin attack, and that's just an element of the game I haven't learned to master yet. We're well aware of that. Whoa, pretty risky there on the health. Let's stay out of the pack a little bit and just focus on survival for a bit until we can get back to the skyway, and then we'll just try to avoid the crowd a little while longer, because right now, getting a little bit rough. Skyway, good. Yeah, less collision on the skyway, that's the main advantage of getting up here. And then we get the skyway projecting us directly onto the pit stop, which is very convenient. Hey, we got a KO. I feel like that was accidental. I wasn't even boosting or spinning. Why did it give me the KO indicator unless somebody was just right on top of me, perhaps? Yeah, at this point people are pretty fragile, so we don't just want to use the spin indiscriminately. I don't know if there's any disadvantage to doing so. We should have boosted there. We had plenty of power remaining. I just was a little caught by surprise by the ending there. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, we were at 16 at one point. We fell way back in the last lap, and then that's what happens when we were fragile and unable to do much about it. And yeah, Blue Falcon. I wonder if this is vehicle dependent. You know what, let's just equip it. We like the green. Do we want to see what's the next thing that's rolling after the team battle? Team battle, the tip sheet said something about it being a challenge where, well, once you're knocked out, you can still contribute to the team as one of the ghost bomber cars, the bumper cars. Yeah, let's let the timer just run down. It looks like at the half hour it's a mini pre. We might as well see what this is. We're still exploring the game. Costs 1 ticket. 3 race series. Given how badly we're doing, we're totally not ready for this, but let's see it. Also, beat in a series of 3 consecutive races and randomized tracks. Randomly selected tracks, I would think. And then there's a leaderboard rank. Let's see what this is. Yeah, very quick 10-minute rotation on these events. And we'll stay with Blue Falcon. We like it. And yes, so this is a sequence. Port Town 2 is going to be last. I don't really remember how to play Port Town 2. That's very late game. Top 80 advance. Okay, we basically play for survival then. And we'll worry about Port Town 2 when we get there. Boost in, we need a little bit more elevation control in our landings here by pressing up and down. Then, alright, boost okay, let's heal up first and go. Just to get out of the back of the pack a little bit, unsuccessfully because everybody's boosting and we're pretty deep in. Yeah. Is there a particular reason why we wouldn't want to just spam to spin a lot along the way? I don't know if it slows me down or something. It does kind of. Anyway, let's replenish. Okay. Oh, you can't actually boost when you're on a Skyway. So that was entirely illusory earlier, perhaps. Where I thought I was doing so, and I actually wasn't. Whoa, that was bad. It's dreadful. This noticeably seems more competitive. The fewer total neophyte players in this mode, I suppose. And everybody here seems like they've been at this for some time already, even if we're all doing terribly. Okay. Yeah, there is a way to use the spin defensively, too, and we don't really understand a lot of those combat mechanics just yet, so... Final lap. Okay, good thing we got Skyway right before the replenishment, which is great, because that means... Yeah, so you can't actually use the boost in the Skyway. I thought I was doing it earlier, and I wasn't. We'll boost through the rough patches like we do with Mario Kart Mushrooms. We'll just push to the finish line. We're within the threshold. Okay, good enough. That was a bit rough in places. What's the rank like for the people on top, does it say? Anyway, it does kick you to the next race almost right away, so... Yeah, we were well behind the top time. By the looks of it. It doesn't tell you the rank of anybody who's not one of your rivals, I think. Oh, that's too bad. I was really hoping to complete that mode. Particularly because we spent a ticket. Now, do we want to blow another ticket on it just to try it out? I mean, we have to survive 3 disconnections, basically. Let's do it. Why not? It's competitive. I like this concept. We didn't end up seeing how badly I would do at Port Town 2. Wow. Did it blow a ticket to do that? No, it didn't, thankfully, because the race didn't start. Well, I don't know if it's my end, because we did have trouble with Mario Maker one day, a week or two ago, with server connectivity, and it was entirely me, so... Yeah, let's see how this goes. Mute City, Sand Ocean, Whiteland 1. Okay, it's Whiteland 1 at least, not 2. 2 is the one with the murder jump. The notorious murder jump. I mean, 1's not exactly a walk in the park either, but... Yeah, we still don't really know how to use the attack in terms of when to deploy it, so... And what to react to, and how to spot people who are smoking and in peril. Seems like we never really see those opportunities open up, so... Maybe we should spin to push people out of the way before some of those boost pads. I don't know, maybe that's the approach. Like if it gives you some kind of priority in collision or something. Maybe we should stay back when people are doing the initial boost and then you have a bit of room to catch up or something. I don't know. You don't want to be too far back early because you get into trouble right away. Wow, we overboosted. That was too aggressive. Okay, that was a good corner, roughly. But we need some health. Much better. We'll get Skyway in just a moment here. And then let's try to hit as much of this as we can. And getting close to the finish line, so let's just boost into it. Replenish once again. Okay, in decent shape in terms of health, at least. On lap 3. Whoa, that was a bad bump. Again, let's just try to get up into the Skyway, and we'll have a particular pattern going here of when we go Skyway and when we go boost. And then hit the finish line for that, and then yeah, we're going to get Skyway in the final lap. Let's replenish first. Let's get up there. Might even make more sense to close to the end of the lap, but that's okay. This way we'll know how much health we're dealing with as we get near the end. And then, whoa. Okay. Not awful. Did see that massive KO indicator. Again, I think it's just from a neighbor. I don't think I actually nuked anybody. Even while I was boosting. And yeah, in the mini pre, you can't really tab through the scoreboard as much because they do just shuttle you to the next race. And then I guess it selects your next rival cluster based on where you finish in the first race. Because it just selects the people who are immediately adjacent to you, and that's your group. Which makes sense. That it would basically be like a competitive ladder, where your cluster on the ladder is what you're trying to get out of. That's very clever, actually, in terms of sequencing multiple races and how the ranking system would work. Even if the bonuses for beating the rivals don't necessarily matter, I guess it's just, you know, something to make feeling anything other, finishing other than first feel a little less anonymous. Somebody caught the shortcut there right away. I don't think I know it well enough to really try it. Okay. People are kind of boosting around me at this point. Let's not get too far back here. To find an opportune moment to do it before we really get into the curves. And yeah, we're a little far back, but let's just get around to curves first and see how much stamina we have left over to. How much power we have left over to, and do the big push into the pit. There we go. Yeah, the pit replenishment is actually like somewhat generous compared to the original game. That's the way it feels anyway. I don't know if that's true. Whoa, that's a curve. At least on a Skyway, it just kind of locks you in a position, so it makes sense to ride a Skyway if you have a particularly bad series of curves coming up where you don't want to worry too much about hazardous edges. Like the ones that we've been constantly running into. I think we're going to crash out. We're in bad shape. Very, very bad shape. Somebody's going to try to snipe me if we don't get out of that soon. Okay, we're well in the safe zone at least. We're nowhere near the lead, but... okay. Yeah. If we can get into the Skyway one more time here. Right here. This is still in lap 3, so maybe that was a bit premature, but at least we try to survive this lap and just get a repair going. At this point I should primarily be playing for survival. Because the boost does take a big chunk of health off. You just need to make the curves and not get bumped too much by the terrain itself. I'll boost into the finish if we have any health left over. Do so. Oh, wow. Yikes. We don't really. Okay. A little bit clear here, though. Top 25, okay. Still reasonable. I didn't even see what the threshold was for this race, in terms of how much the field will tighten on you. Alright, did have one rival finish ahead of us. Yeah. Back by a few seconds on a lap time. The whole pack is very, very close, as you can see. Yeah, too bad about the tick we wasted on the disconnection earlier. Hopefully that's not going to be the case this time. And yeah, I don't know how the leaderboard points rather are going to work here, but look at that. Some people have some badges on their cards already. I haven't set up any of mine if I've earned them, but we will see. Alright, just try to get in reasonable shape here as we get into Whiteland. Whiteland 1. Yeah, managing the jumps here is very, very important. And the curves. Yeah, this safe counter is quite a bit lower here. Oh yeah, this is with the magnet pull down on the boosts. I haven't really been using my own boost meter yet, simply because we're kind of prioritizing survival at the moment, but we're still in a reasonable rank in terms of where I am in the pack right now, so let's just try to get up to the Skyway first and get a bit of clearance. We are falling behind though from not boosting, but priority at the moment really should be to remain alive. See a lot of spinning here and there. Again, I've hardly been spinning because I just don't know when I should use it, and whether it slows me down if I whiff the Falcon Punch. Okay, heal up and let's go Skyway right now. We should have done it later where the course is more challenging actually, but I think I was a bit greedy about it. And then we get over the magnet zone. And then we've got plenty of health left for boosting back up, which we'll need to because we're really sort of trapped in the back right now. Alright, heal up. We'll live. We're not going to win anything, but yeah. I don't know if we'll amass enough to get onto Skyway one more time. I'm not counting on it. We've got plenty of energy. Whoa, drifted the wrong way there. Awful. Okay, a bit too risky now. Were we over the cut? Yes, we were. Top 25. And defeated all 4 rivals. Okay, not bad. Could have been quite a lot worse. And that's our ranking coming out of the first mini-pre that we've completed. So let's see what happens from that. Not bad. Actually did gain 15 total. I wonder how that's calculated. Congratulations to our winners. And yep, Morgan's been working on that card already. Use stats. And I wonder what the crown is. Oh, the crown would be for my own personal record time, perhaps. Total KOs. We got 1 KO at some point. Who knows how we managed that. Okay. So we get a weekly total and then a leaderboard reset. Yeah, the leaderboard's reset often enough that I don't imagine I'll be paying that much attention to it. As with the stats in Mario 35 as well. It's really kind of the intrinsic pleasure of the game that matters more here. Okay, you got a lime green falcon. We got Whiteland as well. Pro Tracks. You know, it doesn't cost a ticket, let's just do it. It probably gives us stuff like Whiteland 2 or Silence or other things like that. But we might as well see it. It was never good enough in the original F-Zero to really be taking this on with any confidence. We don't actually know Part Town 2 yet, but if it wins to vote, it wins to vote. It doesn't. So, having just familiarized ourselves with Whiteland 1, let's do it. Let's do it for the points just to see what the Pro Tracks actually do for us here. And if it's a reasonable experience, we'll keep on queuing for it. Nice, actually did get a boost successfully that time. Yeah, despite no races visible in front of me, everybody's been spread out in the lanes enough that it was still ranked 20-something when seemingly there's nobody in front. Alright. We might want to tear ourselves out of the pack a little bit if we're close to the front like that, but that's okay, the moment has passed. Probably should have considered it. Taking some hits anyway, so we're behind all our rivals right now. We see some people really kind of crackling here. Maybe we should have gone aggressive. Yeah, I just don't know how to land the hits yet. Whoa, bad spot. We really would have wanted to get the Skyway in that location, but now we're way back. Let's save ourselves here. Then boost right into pit. Okay. Back into the middle. Still not great, but a little bit of height management here is going to help tremendously. Whoa, totally got chipped. Yeah, we're way back. Well, I mean, I guess if you're queuing for Pro Tracks at all, you're probably somebody who has some level of confidence in what they're doing. So, comparative experience of this pool is something that we're noticing. And of course, I made a couple of bad tactical decisions early on when we were well ahead of the pack and in top 5 spots or so, and just kind of squandered that opportunity. But yeah, you're not at risk of falling off the track when you're on Skyways. It's really just a challenge of... Oh, I didn't realize we were so close to the finish, but okay, that's fine. We wrote it out. Almost at C+. So, I guess the Pro Tracks are mostly, well, for fun, and we should try to unlock more tracks as we go and vote for the unseen ones next time. Yeah, perhaps it does amass points a little more fast. A little faster here. Do you think the golden ship gives you a lot of sparks if you hit it? Okay, I didn't know that. Hey, we finished 10 races in a row with no crash outs. That's actually quite nice. Let's do it. Welcome, Luca. Well, we managed to hit that streak even though we We're doing the pro track. Yeah, I didn't know what the golden one was all about, actually. But we're still new to a lot of this. Let's take a look at Port Town 2. Let's see if we live. I don't really know this course. It's pretty late game in the original. But I guess we'll see more of Whiteland. Alright, fine by me. We've lived a couple of times here. Let's go. Yeah, hitting the early boost timing, once you find it, is quite nice. Yeah, you get the red boost. That's how it's visible. In a field this large, everything doesn't matter. Ooh, we're gonna have minefields this time. Yeah, because I guess there's a little bit of random variation to the starting area, which I didn't realize. Anyway, we're almost at full here, so we'll boost at some point, probably, or just try to survive for a bit. Make sure we don't get into too many stamina problems. Ah, no, we're way behind. We gotta boost. We can't rank out on the first lap. It's not acceptable, but we actually might crash out on the first lap after a streak of not doing so. Somebody's going to try to snipe me. Somebody's going to try to snipe me now. Oh, yikes. Okay. Alright, that did not go as well. Luckily, we did hit the 10 streak first before we did something like that. Participation trophy, yeah. Alright. We'll take it. We're still going to do this, though. Might as well take the event while it's active and take a few risks. Yeah, we did start out with Goose, but we've liked staying on Falcon lately, so... I guess maybe the colors and decals you unlock do seem to be per vehicle then, because we're only getting the unlocks for Falcon so far. But I'm not totally clear on that, because it also seems to be by level. Maybe, we don't know. I haven't really looked at the collection systems at all, so... Okay. You know, between the shoulder trigger drifts and the boost timing, this is completely going to wreck my muscle memory from Mario Kart. The relevant timings are quite different. Okay. Whoop. Rough shape here, we're way back in the back. Oh yeah, there's a magnet rail. I remember this. We're totally getting railed by the magnet rails now. That was not great. Okay, let's just try to live to the next location here. We're smoking. Somebody's going to try to snipe, I'm sure. Can we run into the golden when... Yeah, I mean, somebody was going to snipe me. That was pretty clear. We should have actually boosted with no health there just to try to make it to replenishment, but... That's okay, we're learning as we go. We actually got a new rank record because we started out so terribly. And we got Port Town 2, great. Yeah, no, now I remember Port Town 2, because of the mag rail on either side in that particular stretch. We might switch to the other vehicles at some point, but when we are back into the standard mode, I think. While we're doing the pro tracks, we'll stay on Blue Falcon because that's what we know. That's what I'm comfortable with at the moment. So. Oh, and we'll have Grand Prix in a few minutes anyway, at the end of this segment. So maybe we'll stay on Blue Falcon a little longer. Anyway, let's see if we can get up to that C+. least survived a race. Yeah, with the harder tracks, it does feel like much more of a survival challenge than a race as such. Staying alive seems to be the bigger thing to focus on. Oh, we're top 5 right now with a good start. Okay, so let's try boosting immediately at the starting area. No, that didn't really work. Yeah, we just got mobbed. I was working at drifting, though. Yeah, we're way behind at this point, considering what a good start we had initially. Okay, let's keep going. And let's heal up. That's rather necessary. We'll get to the Skyway on a harder stretch, I think. We'll save it here. Where we get into the tighter curves. We just don't have to deal with them. We should think about using the Skyway strategically at the hard patches, not just greedily at the first opportunity available. Of course, the later we use it, the more we're just sitting on a full meter without amassing any further, so that's a consideration as well when we're deciding how greedily to punch the thing. Not exactly landing very accurately onto boost pads there. We're going to be in rough shape in a moment here. Yeah, we are smoking. Somebody's going to snipe. I'm sure. We'd have to be ready to defend if somebody's trying to collide. Used a spin to deflect. Oh, we should have gone for the golden car there. Instead of just sailing right over it. It's okay, we're living. Actually, surprisingly decent rank. Just from not dying yet. And I say yet because... Oh, okay, that was the last lap. We should have boosted into the end there. Because we topped out at about 16th or so, I think, that time. And we could have boosted through the ending. Well, it's important to finish the race. And we'll amass more of those Grand Prix tickets. So we can use them in a minute. Let's do one more pro track before that happens. And we'll just stay on this. I mean, Grand Prix, I suppose, is going to be a larger version of the Mini Prix, maybe a full 5 courses like the original game. For each of its cups. For a more full-size F-Zero experience. Alright, let's get ready. Surrounded by Japanese vehicles on either side. Let's hit the first boost and get a reasonable starting position. Yeah, everybody's gonna crowd. Okay, let's try to get out of the front. Alright, that's not as awful, although, okay, everybody's catching me now. Well, good start, but it didn't last. I mean, there's no substitute for just racing fundamentals in terms of sharp corners and like. Not hitting too many of the rough patches along the way. Okay, almost at the Skyway though, which I think we'll want momentarily here, just to get out of trouble. Okay, here we go. Whoop. Oh, that's too risky. We're in trouble now. Fairly big trouble, in fact. Burned my defense as well. Look. Okay. We just need to hit the spin if anybody is trying to approach too closely. That was a close call. We were right down to 0. This is the final lap, though. We just need to not get bumped too much in this position. And I'm not too worried about my rank. We should be able to finish if we don't lose to too much. Yeah. Okay. Made it out alive, somewhat. Look at that. That puts us in C+, right in time for Grand Prix. No record set, but we've done better, and we know that. We've got plenty of tickets to work with. Oh, and I guess because of rolling past midnight local, you get a daily bonus. Grand Prix is just open for 10 minutes, okay. We should obviously go for it now. Grand Prix, oh yeah, it's the main selection here. Night League 5-race series. I wonder if it is just going to follow the pattern of the original Night League. Consecutive races, yeah. So I guess we just play the F-Zero Night Cup, perhaps. And yes, we do. Oh, and of course it ends with silence, which is going to be a problem because I've not had very successful experiences with silence, even on many runs of the original game. It's a rough track, so... Well, we'll try to live. Make use of some of the more generous replenishment mechanics here. But it'll be nice to unlock it for practice. Yeah, so for the Grand Prix, you just play F-Zero. That's very interesting. Yeah, try to get over the crowd here. And of course, with Grand Prix only being open for 10 minutes, unless you die immediately, you're not really going to be able to requeue into it. If you are surviving reasonably, you are only going to be doing one until the next opening. And I don't know how often rotations happen, whether it's once every hour or something else. Yeah, we were kind of in trouble here relative to the safe rank. Good time for the Skyway to save me here, because we were right along the 90 boundary. That was not looking great. But the Skyway did wonders there in terms of getting me back ahead. Lap 3. Yeah, we'll save some health for a boost on the final lap. So we know what we're working with. Yeah, the people who are able to pick out targets, I think, are the ones who are going to to be getting the most mileage here. We're falling quite a bit behind. We need Skyway, and we need it soon. Let's go for it now. As long as we hit every boost, we should at least survive. As soon as we drop off, we're going to just boost all the way to the finish. Hey, pretty good finish, actually. Big catch up there on the last lap. Okay. I mean, yeah, considering how tight the whole pack is, and if you look at the times, you can see how much tie braking is going on. Top 60 advance. Yeah, so it just calls by 20 every time, I guess. And who knows how race 5 is going to work. Okay, missed a couple of the boosts there. That's not a great start, but we'll try to separate from the pack a little bit and have a clear straightaway early on while everybody's trying to hit the pits. I think, yeah, when you enter initially, staying away from the pit while everybody's crowding is probably better, so you just have a clear straight to work with. Okay, taking a lot of punishment here. Let's play a bit conservatively until we get a chance to regroup here and replenish, because we're getting hit like crazy. Okay, we'll go for Skyway first, I think, before we try to do anything too special. Okay. Yeah, occasionally when you just see some flashing around, you maybe just go for a spin and hope for the best. Because it's not like you can really target anybody in a pack like that. You just try to spin indiscriminately when you're just surrounded by all these other competitors. Okay, actually in a decent position here. Whoops. Say that just as I boost into somebody else. Whoa, we were number one momentarily, and then now I am just about dead. We were number one for just a glimmer there. And then that's a spectacular way to go, considering. I mean, that's the first time I've actually been in the number one position at any point in this game, and so what a spectacular fall from there. I guess everybody just targets you if you're in a position like that, just boosting you from behind. We should have thought about using the spin defensively. Yeah, too bad about that. So close to the finish, too. We could have just played it safe and, you know, backed out or something, but... Yeah, I saw that we were in, what, 4th position with so much health, and... Oh, wait. How am I still here? Unless I'm just in a spectator mode or something. Or if I get to obstruct. I think I'm just in the spectator mode. I didn't understand how this works. Maybe we just pop out of here. Yeah, we are just in a spectator mode, so let's just view results. Disqualified, yeah. DQ'd. Too bad. I was in race 2, too. And we were doing so well. Better luck next time. Well, next Grand Prix is in 2 hours. Participation. Yeah. That's alright. Let's experiment with some of the other cars again then. We've given Blue Falcon a pretty good run. Let's just get back into the standard mode and maybe it won't be quite as competitive. And start out nice and easy. While we acclimatize to a new vehicle. Yeah, I should decorate my badge at some point, but too busy playing. Okay. Yeah, we have to be a little better about spotting when somebody is vulnerable. Because everybody's just kind of spinning around in it. We haven't been able to take advantage of that at all, really. This guy's got a nice generous meter. Golden Fox. Yeah, boost over rough from time to time. Whoa, that's too risky. We're smoking. And yeah, we stay in the pack, we're gonna get whipped. Yeah, we were all the way down in power, but that built up quite nicely, in fact. Okay, we're in better shape again. We're gonna do a big boost out of this one as we get it a lap 2. Again, might as well just fire into a pack here and hope for the best. Getting a little over. Going good here, though. Explosions everywhere. Okay, okay, we're getting to... Whoa, somebody just bumped me out of this. Couldn't hit the pits. That's okay, as long as we get Skyway here, we'll at least clear the pack for a little while before we sink back into it. Whoops. Right on the finish line. There we go. Just sneaking in there with a sliver of remaining power at the end. Okay, let's stay with the vehicle for a while and just unlock some things for it, I suppose. Yeah, I guess you amass points for the vehicle specifically, perhaps. I don't really know. We haven't looked at the bonuses closely enough to understand them. Yeah, we might as well... We should try to team battle at some point. I am a little more interested in doing the solo races just to learn the tactics first, though. In the other 99 games, I've never really been into the team battle mode so much. I hardly played Pac-Man 99, actually. Lost interest in it very quickly. Compared to the other free Battle Royale games from Nintendo Switch Online, this one feels more newly designed. I mean, SMP 35 was kind of that way as well, but, you know, where you have retuning of the original physics and so on, but it was still fundamentally the familiar mechanics and level design. This is different enough from Super Nintendo F-Zero that, aside from the 99 format, I mean, you know, just to boost mechanics, to spin, etc., that it feels like it is a full sequel. And definitely an original of the series in its own right. In a way where, you know, at Tetris 99, you're still playing Tetris, right? Pac-Man 99, you're still playing Pac-Man fundamentally, and you learn the targeting mechanics along the way, and Sure, that adds the core of the multiplayer game, but, you know, you get by with fundamentals in the original. Here it feels like I'm learning a brand new game. Even as somebody who admittedly was not that familiar with F-Zero to begin with. Yeah, familiar courses, familiar art style, but very much a brand new game. Wow, that was awful. And John Paul O'Keefe, welcome. Yeah, this is very fun, actually. We're still kind of learning it. So far I've been playing for survival mostly, and I was trying to spin into this guy. Oh, did that work at all? I guess it gave us gold. A pretty good boost out of that, too. That's a function of this vehicle specifically, I think, that we get such a nice boost out of it. And miss all of this speed booster pens along the way. Yeah, let's replenish. Yeah, we're still learning a lot about what we should be doing strategically, but like I don't quite have the hang of playing aggressively yet when it comes to trying to snipe other players. We haven't really been able to do that intentionally. But we get a bit of energy here, which means we should boost all the way to the finish if we're able. You enjoy Tetris 99, Pac-Man 99, but this is definitely its own thing. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I absolutely adored SMP 35, but I didn't put very much time into it because it was open for only 6 months during a fairly bad time for me to play video games, and so... But yeah, this feels like an extremely natural fit for F-Zero, and I know it's been kind of an open game design question for some time to see what you even do with F-Zero nowadays in an environment where it seems like its finest expression is in Mario Kart DLC tracks. But this feels like it's a very unique direction that suits the game perfectly. I know a lot of people were very surprised and astonished by this announcement when it was made in the Direct, but I was looking at that and thinking, when F-Zero 99 was announced just within the last day, this makes total sense. This is exactly what they should be doing, and so far my playing experience has borne that out. You played SMP 35 a lot? Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. And in this game, the way it's set up, there's, compared to the other Battle Royale style games, much less of a focus on being the sole survivor and the number one, right? There's a lot for the player to aspire to and chase as goals that are not just about winning the whole race, such that it's possible to keep players engaged even if they feel like getting number one is hopeless. And I think that's something that is essential to this sort of experience when it comes to long-term player retention. You know, is it still fun for people who feel like they can never finish first? Do they still have things they feel like they can do? And there's so many systems here that seem like they are designed to accommodate that. From just keeping the F-Zero format of just having to finish within a certain bracket, or above a certain threshold, to the way that you're just competing with people who are in your same cluster, particularly in the Grand Prix formats. Okay. Try to cut some corners here. Still don't really know how to use a spin. So I have a very distinct experience, I found. Okay, that is a big boost if you spin into the gold. You should be trying to do that whenever possible. Okay, great. On the Skyway. A decent amount of power remaining. we'll just boost as much as we can here since we do have the resources to do so. Corners. We're maybe being a little too risky now. Whoa, look at that bombardment everywhere. Yeah, somebody's gonna try to get me. Look at that. I finished right before I was sniped. So we made it just over the line. Yeah, it makes sense with this replacing Pac-Man 99. That's the thing, is that at this point we have enough experience to know that these games are likely to be short-lived. I mean, Tetris is still around, but they found a lot of ways to keep it going, and moreover, it's the most accessible way to play Tetris on the system, right? Which makes a big difference. Yeah, I could never get into Pac-Man 99 myself, though. And I say that as somebody who likes Pac-Man quite a bit. Just didn't get hooked on it. And conversely, I've never really been an F-Zero player. I've always been a Mario Kart person. And I never followed this series closely, but in some ways, this has given me a newfound respect for F-Zero, where I feel like it's the kind of game where, much like the NES remix games, it sort of goes back and elevates the original by taking a new player base and, you know, teaching them the more advanced mechanics and giving them a reason to learn the more advanced mechanics. And so it reminds me very much of NES Remix that way, where it's bringing new life to the original game, even though it's very much its own design and own addition to the series. You're getting close to 200 pack champs, Agate. Well, hopefully you managed to get that before the shutdown. I don't know if necessarily I've seen a lot of people playing a lot of the original game, but I think they've been trying to find something to do with this series for some time, where, you know, considering how dormant F-Zero has been, it has a surprising amount of brand recognition. Mostly, I think, because of Smash. Notice that because of the spin attack here in this game, you actually do technically get a Falcon Punch. Mostly because of Smash, but then, you know, there was also that brief tribute in Nintendo Land 11 years ago on a Wii U. Other nods to F-Zero along the way. But honestly, mostly Smash. But yeah, you know, F-Zero, I think, is one of those series where people have heard about it or are able to recognize it way out of proportion to actually having played it. So it's just a matter of finding the right opportunity and the right idea, which this is. And sometimes you just need, you know, newer formats like this to bring new life to old series where you realize it's a great fit. I keep saying, for instance, that Star Fox should really be a roguelike if they want to revitalize Star Fox. It just makes so much sense given the arcade format of the series and how it's designed for short sessions and alternate routes and all that. Okay, we're going to get full energy here going out of the Skyway, which is great because we'll just get boosting as soon as we fall off the track. Just power all the way to the end if we can. Spin against everybody we can. Oh, we're actually going to be maybe a little too aggressive here. Over the line with power down. Yeah, you love a retro remix? Thank you for the GG. But yeah, let's keep going. Made up a lot of lost ground on the last lap there after sitting around in the 70s for a while. Yeah, let's keep going. Next Grand Prix is a while off, but I Might try to stay long enough to make it there. That'll be about an hour and a half from now. And then we'll make sure we give each of the vehicles a bit of a run here. Yeah, the music for original F-Zero has always been incredible. Especially the lesser-known tracks that haven't gotten as much airplay from not being in Smash or Mario Kart the way that Mute City and Big Blue have been. A big showcase for the Super Nintendo sound chip back when it released. On top of all the visuals and sense of speed and everything else about this. So, and the art style has aged so incredibly well. This is a very pretty game. It's just a very lovely game to look at. And as with the changes in artwork, the subtle changes in artwork done to the older Mario games in both Mario 35 and Mario Maker, in terms of effects to really kind of make them feel like how the originals felt at the time of their own release. The artwork is actually a very big jump from the original in many subtle ways, while keeping the spirit and the memory of how it originally felt. Whoops, I'm trying to boost into this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we were in peril there when it comes to ranking out. Anyway, we're at full boost. Let's actually use it if we can. Oh, nearly snapped a guy and we just missed him. Oh, and we didn't have to spin ready for the golden car. That's too bad. I don't think we'll be able to make use of that within this lap, though. Maybe. Okay, go. Yeah, we're way behind. But we have some health. Some energy, rather. Is anybody down near low health? I can't really. You're supposed to see that smoke effect around him, I think, but I find it very hard to pick up on him in the crowd. You like the N64 game? Yeah, I don't really know the N64 one at all. But there are a lot of Nintendo series where I don't know the N64 iteration very well. Including things like Mario Kart, Star Fox, etc. I didn't really play the N64 while it was current. And even the big games like Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, etc. I caught up on much later. I mean, like everybody else, I had a system rented from time to time for GoldenEye, but... Anyway, we have the Golden Fox alternate. And yeah, we'll deal with the badges later. Special events down in 30 seconds, but we can fit in one more race. Yeah, I don't have the premium tier of the Nintendo Switch Online, actually. I don't have the N64 tier. Let's play around with Fire Stingray a little bit. Survive a few races. GameCube was the only Nintendo system you didn't own. I loved the GameCube. The GameCube actually kind of brought me back to Nintendo after a bit of a lapse. I kind of fell off Nintendo near late Super Nintendo. And caught up on a lot of late Super Nintendo much later as well. Even bigger titles like Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, etc. I missed those originally, and I kind of got back to them by way of being interested in video game music, actually. And that was around the GameCube era. And the GameCube brought me back to Nintendo in a very, very big way. And I wouldn't be, you know, a lifelong Nintendo player that I am now without that having been the case. And I wasn't even the one who got the GameCube. I just happened to be in a household with somebody who was interested in one. And That was extremely fortunate because, you know, I might just not ever have thought about picking up the GameCube myself otherwise. The only thing that I felt was a big deficiency in that era was that 2D platformers on consoles were just completely dead. Because the huge 2D platformer draw was not fun. But that's the one bad thing that I have to say about that. You know, to the point where the GameCube didn't really even have a proper D-pad. It just had that tiny little thing you'd use for taunting and smash. And, oh, whoops. Well, that's an embarrassingly easy course to crash out on. We're still new to that vehicle, though. It's a bit of a fragile one. And yeah, the Wii could play GameCube games, etc. Yep, exactly. That eventually ceased to be the case, in fact. I only found out about it years later that later models of the Wii kind of quietly dropped the GameCube compatibility without telling anyone. Even though the hardware was built on the same architecture. It just no longer included the minidisc reader for some reason. But I had a Wii at launch, so I did carry over a lot of the GameCube library. Yeah, we're not playing Fire Stingray while we don't know what we're doing. Let's go back to Blue Falcon since we're doing the Grand Prix. And we're a little more familiar with it. I was doing okay with Golden Fox though. I like the long boost meter on it. Yeah, I didn't really keep up with a lot of the portables for the longest time as well. Until around the DS maybe, and then I caught up on a lot of GBA via the DS. And now I consider the GBA to, in its very short lifespan, have one of the strongest Nintendo libraries of all time, so... It's not surprising to me that they're having so many Game Boy Advance remakes, including... my memory slipped here. No, I'm thinking about Advance Wars, but I'm also thinking about something else that was announced today, which I'm blanking on it because I am busy racing. Oh, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Yeah, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Yeah, it's not surprising to me that the GBA has such an incredible legacy, and it already was receiving remakes of things like Superstar Saga. Rather too late to make an impact on the waning 3DS library. Whoops. That was careless. That's okay. We died early enough that we can re-queue into another mini Grand Prix. Yeah, we overboosted early on there, and I wasn't paying attention. Awful race. Oh, we were on the Fire Stingray. I guess I didn't switch in time. Yeah, it's too fragile for me. I thought I'd switched over to the Blue Falcon, and I was wrong. So we burnt a ticket on that. Yeah, Fire Stingray is much too fragile. We aren't doing it. Or rather, I haven't adjusted my habits to account for its fragility yet. Super Nintendo has your favorite library out of the consoles and handhelds. I think it used to for me. I think the Switch has surpassed it. But I've spent a lot of time revisiting the Super Nintendo library via Nintendo Switch Online. I actually got a lot of use out of it. And I'm using the Super Nintendo controller right now, in fact, which I actually ordered for Mario Maker, and I find it very comfortable for Mario Maker. And so, my primary controller these days, I think, is the Super Nintendo controller that was designed to connect with the Switch by Bluetooth. you know, for anything that doesn't require a stick. Because I still find it very comfortable. I never really got that used to controllers with handles and grips, despite the time I spent with the GameCube Wavebird. Okay. It's really easy to just kind of get into a bit of a trance here with this game. I have to take advantage of the fact, too, that the jump pads do give me the spin attack without having to wait for replenishment. Actually registered a KO there, was unexpected. The idea is that you just try to spam that whenever possible. If you're just even remotely within the crowd. Yeah. Okay, let's get up here in preparation for the final lap. And we'll get a fair bit of health. Yeah, this feels so much better than Stingray. Stingray, I just didn't know how to manage its lack of durability. Oops, that was awful. Hey, we're actually pretty close to the front of the pack. Whoa, oh. Oh, KO right at the end there. We were trying to boost ahead to hit first because I was sitting on second for a while, and then, well, we got what we deserved. Rank 9 there, too, and of course we crashed out, so now we're all the way at the bottom. Whoops. That was at the front of the Mini Pre as well, too. Accidental up inputs in that controller for Maker 2. If I'm holding it straight, not really. Sometimes I hold it at a bit of a tilt, and I do have a few accidental diagonals when I'm playing in the 3D World style specifically, but it's not the same problem as the D-pad problem that is on the Pro Controller, where the Pro Controller, if you, as you know, rock the left and right back and forth, it does accidentally hit the up diagonal, which is a massive problem for Tetris specifically. When I'm getting accidental diagonal inputs on the Super Nintendo pad, it's not that problem. It's very much just my holding the controller too loosely or at an angle or something. I actually love Link to the Past when it comes to Zelda, but I've also never been as crazy about 0 points. I was number 2 too. Yuck. I was never as crazy about Ocarina of Time as much as most people. I mean, I obviously respect the game design very much for how much it accomplished. We're doing so badly, we get to queue into the Mini Pre 3 times. Because it's such an embarrassment in the last round there, just sinking from 2nd to 80th in the span of a few seconds. Yeah, I love the Super Nintendo pad for this. The thing that you have to be aware of is that normally you don't get access to the screenshot and home buttons, so I do need to reach over and tap my Joy-Cons for that. But the exception is that in the Super Nintendo app, and in games like this one, they officially have some extra support for the Super Nintendo controller by assigning the capture button to ZL and the home button to ZR, because there's a little ZL-ZR nub that's on the controller. And so in a few specific instances, capture and home are assigned to those buttons instead, but it's very much a per app thing, and it doesn't happen very often. So that's the only caveat with that, is that you have to be aware that you don't just have easy access to screenshot and home. But again, I just reach over and tap my Joy-Con, and that resolves that. Okay, I've been doing pretty poorly in the past few races because I have kind of been on autopilot here, but this is a very easy game to just kind of tune out to, you know, you just sink into the racing. Oops. If you want to play particularly poorly. Okay, we're doing so badly already, actually. Whoa. Oh, no, I was about to hit Skyway, too. Right at a replenishment. Yeah, someone sniped me. Yeah, I was very impressed with Majora's Mask, though. Majora's Mask was one that I played kind of much later as well. We crashed out in the first round of every single one of these mini-prees. And of course it was just because of the hubris of the second one, where we were in such a great position and squandered it completely. Okay, let's go back to the hard tracks, because we like the element of risk, and because we want to unlock what we can. Let's go Wild Goose for a bit. We haven't played it that much. Majora's Mask is its own thing, yeah, very much. But yeah, I find that Link to the Past generally has more of an impact on people if they were kind of aware of what a jump it was for the series. Kind of like SMB3 in some ways, where you kind of need to be aware of what came before it to know just how much it added and established. I find that people who come from later 2Z Zeldas first, such as Link's Awakening or Minish Cap or games like that, they might be less impressed with what Link to the Past had to offer, but I didn't play Link to the Past when it was current, actually. I played it also long after its release, and when some of the 3D Zelda games were already out. And I was very impressed with it, but you know, I think like people will differ a lot in terms of the context they take with them going in. And people get attached to certain games in a series for all kinds of reasons that aren't often quantifiable. The same way that I'm deeply, deeply attached to Wind Waker, for instance, even though, you know, is it the best design game in the series? No, probably not, but I think as a total package, it's just so much greater than the sum of its parts. And that was a very, very impactful game for me. Okay, whoops, I tried to boost before I actually had a full meter. That was not wise. Oops, and yeah, we're getting hit by the mag rails like crazy. How did I end up in number 3 position? Guess everybody else has just been struggling. Okay, let's watch out for the mag rail segment when we hit it. Pretty low in health too at this point. Let's get into the crowd. Whoops, nope. Let's shift like crazy. Hey, we actually hit somebody. That's rare. Okay, here we go. So many death markers along the way at this point. A lot of people crashing out on the side too, in fact. Was it the final lap? Yeah, let's boost to the end. We actually boosted into somebody, which is great. You love how different each game is from one another. Yeah. Yeah, I like that the series takes risks. I always like seeing what the controversial thing will be about every Zelda game, because there always is one. There's always something that's going to set people off a bit. But to me, that's very much the heart and soul of the series, right? That every game is willing to try something that not everybody who is invested in the series is necessarily going to like, either with the artwork or the mechanics. And that's what keeps it interesting for me. So anyway, we'll stay in Wild Goose for a few until we unlock some skins. The story connects them all well. Here and there. I mean, I know people really get invested in the timeline stuff much more than Nintendo officially does themselves, because there's always the gameplay taking the lead, but I don't particularly need the games to be that interconnected. You know, even Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, while sharing a world, they actually don't have that much connectivity to each other. Like, there's probably less that is shared by those games than Ocarina and Wind Waker in some ways, when it comes to some of the story elements. Of course, that may just be because I missed out on such a wide proportion of the early game content by playing the game in a very unique order. But even so, I feel like, you know, there was a conscious effort to make Tears of the Kingdom as accessible as possible to people who skipped Breath of the Wild for whatever reason, or who don't have time to play multiple, several hundred hours long games back to back after catching up. And including a lot of the tutorial messages and the way certain mechanics are just handed to the player, if they are returning mechanics from Breath of the Wild that people might not necessarily pick up in the first time. But definitely that's true of the story elements as well, that, you know, it's almost like Tears of the Kingdom is unwilling to spoil too much of Breath of the Wild for people who haven't played it, or assume much about the player base. Which again is the strength of the series in some ways, where you don't want anything to feel like it has a hard prerequisite to it. It's kind of like that with, say, other pairings of Zelda games like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, or other things. I didn't even get that kill. I don't think I did the spin. Okay. I feel like the kills I've been getting have mostly been accidental. Alright, let's keep going. Oh, I love what Tears of the Kingdom ultimately did add, just by turning it into an engineering game. Because the difference in the core mechanics and the traversal made the games feel much more different than I would have expected going in. Even traversing the terrain, because the way you get around the land is completely different. It doesn't feel like the world is very redundant. In many ways, I don't feel like the games are redundant at all. I think they're doing two very separate things, Breath of the Wild and Tears. It's true that some of the kind of lock and key structure of dungeons that they totally mastered designing by the time you got to Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, like, that is definitely something that feels like it's been missing for quite some time now. But on the other hand, I think the insight was that in Breath of the Wild, people really enjoyed feeling like they were breaking things and opening up a lot of that mechanical flexibility to just skip dungeons with your own vehicles, basically. Really contributed to that in Tears. And I like that a lot because I think I brought up in one of my Zelda streams that there's this, very special trick that the last two Zelda games have where they let the player feel like they're breaking things, but not without feeling like the game is buggy. It's not, that the game is buggy or broken, it's that it's flexible. And it's a very fine line to tread that it just says, go ahead, use these toys to break things, but then we still have some boundaries that maintain a certain level of functionality where you don't feel like the game is working against you. And it's one of those subtle things that's extremely impressive about the level of polish in both. Even though we did, in fact, find some soft locks in Tears of the Kingdom in certain shrines. That's what happens when you play without the paraglider for several hundred hours. You start picking out a few things like that. But I'm also generally fond of a lot of engineering and construction games. And so it sort of flattered my design prejudices. I'll catch up on more of the chat after this race. I want to peek over just yet until we survive a bit. Yeah, as with both Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon, sometimes you can tell that what I'm seeing is totally smooth because there is a lot of resynchronization behind the scenes with what the server sees, which is why occasionally we have KO notices that seem out of step with what I actually think I'm doing on screen. I think that's what's going on here. Link has become a superhero, yeah. Yeah, there's a certain amount of power creep for sure. But hey, the arm was temporary, I suppose. But it's true that if you look at the older games, particularly the 2D games, the moveset is so incredibly lean. Okay, I have a few connection issues here. That's okay, we'll keep going. Like I've been saying, I'll probably stay on for about another hour or so to make it to the next Grand Prix and put in a reasonable effort. We'll keep it a reasonably short broadcast. I've been enjoying this a lot. We won't stream it regularly, I don't think. But I did want to kind of record some of the learning process early on. Maybe as more cups unlock, because I noticed that from the leaderboards that the Grand Prix for the later leagues or cups in the original F-Zero, Queen and King, look like they're supposed to rotate in at some point, possibly in a future week. Yeah, I think, as far as traditional Zelda goes, that A Link Between Worlds was a big surprise when it came out, that it existed at all, really. But it's kind of true that even with 2D Zelda, that the last few we've seen the Link's Awakening remake, obviously, and then Link Between Worlds before that. That we have been short on fully original environments for bringing back the 2D Zelda design. Although one game that I actually kind of adore is Cadence of Hyrule, which is the spin-off rhythm game by the Cryptid and Necrodancer developers, which you probably know about. I thought that was incredibly interesting, especially if you play with permadeath. It's a fantastic experience in permadeath. Very hard, but extremely satisfying to clear it that way. Unfortunately, I did that before I had a capture card, so I didn't retain evidence of it. But I might go back and stream Cadence at some point, because I still have to do the DLC Skull Kid campaign and everything in that game. But because that one really has a pared down moveset. All you do is, you equip weapons and you face in certain directions. You tap timed button presses. Like very regularly timed button presses is not like you're playing Guitar Hero or something. You just need to step to the beat. And so you have these incredibly lean distillations of 2Z Zelda mechanics, and it works brilliantly. I was very, very impressed with it. And musically, as one big remix of the Zelda series, it's quite the jam. Okay, barely survived there with the boost at the end. Yeah, the thing about Cadence of Hyrule is that every time I see somebody streaming on Twitch, they usually do it with the actual rhythm element of the game turned off. Like, they turn off having to step to the beat, and they essentially just play it as a step-by-step puzzle game of sorts, which I find is not in the spirit of what makes the game click, because, stepping to the music is what the game is about. And having that element of time pressure between moves is something that is part of the core mechanics, but you actually hardly ever see people stream it that way, if they stream it at all, which is not often, because it's a very obscure category. So I should, in fact, stream Cadence of Hyrule DLC at some point. I've got a couple of open slots for smaller, shorter games between now and Super Mario Wonder in October, and maybe I should fit that in somehow. Because I'm planning to spend the next few weeks catching up on a lot of smaller and more obscure backlog after spending way too much time on gigantic games this year that were all much longer than I bargained for. I played Zelda for hundreds of hours, and I thought, okay, great, we'll have Pikmin now, and Pikmin's always short, Pikmin's always doable in, 10 to 20 hours, and then Pikmin 4 turned out to be, about 60 hours of streaming? And because there's so much to do in it. Because every Nintendo series feels like it's just been getting bigger and bigger. And you can tell already with Super Mario Wonder that with a lot of the badges, unlockables, etc., incentives for replay, multiplayer, etc. that they're throwing in, that it's also going to be bigger than your typical Mario game. But yeah, we'll see if I can squeeze in Cadence somehow. I've got a couple of other things lined up first, and of course a lot of Mario Maker I want to catch up on as well, because I missed out on so much after focusing mainly on Zelda for several weeks, if not months. Okay, let's get it. Yeah, our position in the pack really does not matter at this point. Things happen. But the fact that we're within sight of first is okay, I guess. As long as we don't get busted up. Which I'm perilously close to being. I just get into the pack and spin, I think. That's all there is to it. I really have no idea how to... targeting more precise than that. Okay, let's get out of here. to spin some money? I don't know. Okay, boost through here because I don't want to bother making that turn. Trying to use the spin from time to time at least. Even if we haven't been able to do too much with it deliberately. Whoops. I don't think I got credit for that one. Somebody else made it explode. I have to get back to the Skyway. I'm getting pretty vulnerable at this point. Somebody's going to hit me. Stay out of the pack. We're a little far back right now. Luca, you felt the game didn't need a roguelike mechanics. If you're talking about cadence, the roguelike mechanics really sing in permadeath. They feel kind of extraneous when you're learning the game, and by learning the game I mean just playing it a standard way. Like, it doesn't feel like it fits. But then you see it a way that's tuned on permadeath, and suddenly it makes sense. Because the first run is basically kind of like a tutorial, and, you know, the respawns don't matter. You keep so much, and you got to cash in on so much. But, you know, one of the things that makes the roguelike mechanics feel unnecessary when you're playing the game without permadeath is that you just keep on progressing through the same map anyway, right? But when you play on permadeath, you have the map re-roll and randomize again every time you get back into it, and so the exploration aspect is much, much stronger. I mean, I played this years ago, so I'm probably not explaining it very clearly, but... there you go. But yeah, I have to make a mental note to myself. If I do stream Cadence, of course, I probably won't be streaming permadeath right away. Like, you kind of need to learn, or at least relearn some of the weapon mechanics and bosses first before it's a good idea. So you at least know what's going on. It's very much a second run mode. But it significantly improves the game, I found. Okay, let's go over here. And see what else we can do. Whoa, that was awful positioning. Okay, let's get out. I don't think boosting into anybody or spinning into anybody when you're on a Skyway does anything. Not that we were close to a viable target. I've had some KOs land, but I don't think I've actually had any intentional KOs land where I picked the target, hit it, and had it KO. I don't think I've actually managed that. Even though I am starting to weave the spin into my muscle memory and pattern. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how some of the side modes in Super Mario Wonder head out. Oh, look at that. I wonder if it just didn't register my points for that. Because that was the mini pre. Yeah, maybe it didn't properly register my points. No, I got a little bit of experience gain on it, so maybe that was fine. It was just disconnecting at the stat screen. Oh, except if it disconnected, I didn't get to continue the next track on the mini pre. I wasn't paying attention to the format there at all. That's too bad. We basically got disconnected midway when we were well on pace to progress. But yeah, it feels like it's been a long time since I did any shorter, more self-contained games on the stream. As in anything under, say, 15 to 20 hours. Because I actually really enjoyed doing the big indie catch-up that we did one summer where we just had several weeks in a row of games that we could do in 1 or 2 streams. And the viewership wasn't terribly high because, you know, nobody really searches for those categories or necessarily recognizes what I'm playing, but it was still a very rewarding experience in terms of just seeing different aspects of game design that we don't normally show off so much. Getting to engage with them. So, I'm hoping we'll deal that back into the stream somehow. Yeah, I enjoyed this a lot, and I will likely keep playing it. I will probably not stream it regularly. I just wanted to give it a first look this time. This was the same thing that happened with Mario 35 as well. That I wish I'd put more time into it. I did still put a reasonable time into it, but I actually only ever streamed it, I think, twice. Once when it was launched, and once when it was about to shut down. Yeah, in some ways I enjoy this more than standard F-Zero. But as I was saying, it is the kind of game that makes standard F-Zero look even better in retrospect, which is nice. Oops. Yeah, I haven't been driving that well, though. We've had a couple of top 20 finishes here and there, but I think every time we've wound up in a top 5 or so, I gambled a bit and crashed out immediately. Well, we're grouped with somebody who confusingly has the same handle. We'll just have to nuke the imposter. Anyway, actually getting to continue in the mini pre is nice, instead of being disconnected. But the tickets aren't that precious to me right now. We're playing enough that we have enough to work with. Just keep on going. Because I think I've actually only really finished one mini pre so far, partly because of the disconnections, partly because of poor play. Like I said, though, I really don't care about the leaderboard position. No. Expect we'll be chasing that week to week. So yeah, on yesterday's stream, I finally... This is not really a spoiler. I unlocked the Hero's Path map tracking feature in Tears of the Kingdom, which was something that was patched into the DLC in Breath of the Wild. In terms of the thing that shows you where you've been. And it stores 256 hours of travel, as opposed to, I think, about 200 in Breath of the Wild. And in Breath of the Wild, because it came in with a DLC, it meant that a significant part of my route was not part of the record, because it in total far exceeded 200 hours. Likewise, in Tears of the Kingdom, my time spent has far exceeded 256, but it actually captured a surprising amount of my path, because of course it doesn't account for time spent in menus and the like. So I played it at max speed, and it still took an hour and a half to commentate it. I basically spent an hour and a half looking at the map and looking at lines travel across the map. And of course, because I was playing without fast travel, it was pretty satisfying to look at. But yeah, at maximum speed, we now know that it takes an hour and a half to watch it. But it captured much more of my experience with the game than I expected going in. Hey, pretty decent finish, top 10. This time we didn't try to push too hard at the very end. We might even make it up to B- by the end of the session. And yeah, there's a ranking of people with the same vehicle and a ranking of... I'm finally understanding some of the indicators at the top left at the end of the race, that it's your category ranking relative to people who are driving the same vehicle and relative to people who are in the same rank bracket. So I was 3rd out of 57 among people who are rated C, which includes C+. I was looking at those numbers earlier and I had no idea what they meant, but suddenly I understand them. That it is your category or class rank. So you get class prizes like you do in some rated tournaments in games like chess and Scrabble and so on. Okay, here we go. Look at that, we're actually in the lead. I don't expect it to last, but we're in the lead and we have a decent amount of power. So if I don't drive too poorly, we can stay ahead of the pack somewhat until we get mobbed. One thing though is that you'll notice that we don't have access to as many of the orbs in this position to build up the power meter. And yeah, as you can see, we're falling behind because other people are catching up that way, the Skyway and other means. Well, it's nice to hold a commanding position for a little while at least, and feel surprisingly safe with it. And we get our own trip into Skyway now. Okay, let's repair. Whoa. Not feeling confident enough in our current health level to really push, but yeah, we're getting whipped along the edges a bit. Okay, hopefully we'll have a big catch up on the last lap. I feel like I'm nowhere near the next Skyway run though, although if we hit the goal over there, maybe we can make something happen. Nope, we totally missed it. Okay. We have to boost through. Hey, we got it. Great. So maybe we'll have a decent finishing rank. After all, we're pretty close to the finish line though, I suppose, so won't get a chance to boost through it. But top 25. Not as great as the ranking we had with the previous mini pre, I think, where we finished on 14 or 15 total. But almost respectable. Yeah, we have to update the pilot card at some point. Okay, 17 total. I don't quite know how that works. I think it's probably by point total over the 3 courses. And I don't actually understand the calculations, but we have a new record on Sand Ocean, which is nice to have. And a new record of KOs. Yep, top 25 in a mini pre, so we do have an incentive to do that per vehicle. We'll have to learn Fire Stingray some other time. I don't feel comfortable with it at all. Let's stay on Goose. I don't think we have the alternate color for it yet, do we? Alright, back to the starting zone. Yeah, I haven't quite established the starting zone meta yet, really. Because you can try to do the early boost and then just stand in front of somebody else to get bumped from the rear before you get the slowdown kicking in. Because that's what I tend to do, which is standard single-player F-Zero, but here it's a little hard to do that in a kind of predictable fashion, so I've just been trying to boost right before to go instead. Alright. Okay, rank. And then, oh yeah, Skyway, let's just do it. Around the bend. Totally missed the platforms. Just catch up a little bit. Yeah, you can really see the orbs just kind of peter out as you get near the front of the pack. There's not much to pick up along the way. I mean, which makes sense because you don't want to just give somebody a free Skyway when they're in 5th place or something. But it does seem like it's a bit of a catch-up mechanic. Kind of like picking up the Bonsai Bill in Mario Kart. That's the final lap. Yeah, at this point I'm just kind of spamming the attack when it's available, so long as I'm standing next to some others. Praying for the best, except here, yeah, good place to get out of here. Without dealing with anybody else. Number 3, that's our best finish so far. That's the best we've done. And that puts me up to B-. So. And it tells me I'm rank 4 for some reason. Yeah, we were the top C pilot and the second Wild Goose. But of course, we would be, if we're number 3, you're going to be topping out some categories. And yeah, look at how far down I am in terms of collecting sparks, because if you're up front, you just don't get that. And pretty low in the brawler rank, probably because we just weren't landing any attacks. Pretty happy with that one. On the podium for once, yeah. We should probably try to team battle at some point just to see what it is, but... No crash outs as well. And... we should try to do that with Golden Fox as well. You know, let's try to team battle out of curiosity since we haven't shown it off on stream. Race aggressively with your team, and yeah, it is color-coded. So I guess this is one thing that actually incentivizes using the attack mechanics. Which means we should drive somebody who can actually fight. Maybe, yeah, keep on driving a goose with the durability score, maybe. I don't know if that's ideal. I'm sure everything is relatively balanced anyway, with only 4 vehicles to deal with. So we're on pink team. Alright, let's do it. Yeah, the tip sheet said something about being able to participate even once eliminated in this mode. I guess it's just based on our aggregate position as a team, perhaps. Plus, some of these attack mechanics earning points, I see. Boost OK. Yeah, so we'll try to actually target some of the greens along the way. So that's the incentive to try to hit ramps and build up the spin if you can. And not totally whiff the attack. Yeah, they're hitting points now, I see. And then we'll try to hit something. Doesn't feel like I have a great deal of control over what's going on. But at least we're practicing, trying to get some hits in. Whoops. Yeah. No, we're pretty far behind. Let's stay alive. Yeah, we're about 1,000 points behind at this point. Whoop. Not ideal. I don't feel like we have much control over our own destiny in this one. Just team modes will work like that. And I guess we have to let the race finish in case there's any shuffling around down there. Spin points. Yeah, just lack of KOs. We just didn't KO anybody, really. 0 KO points. Well, I mean, that would account for it, for sure. Okay. And yeah, just nobody hit somebody green. Nobody landed a single hit. I mean, that's obviously a problem in a mode like this, so... But I guess that's partly because nobody's really taking that much damage from friendly fire or anything like that. You're taking much less damage as an individual racer than you normally would on this course, perhaps. And That would be why nobody can really seal a kill along the way. Maybe. I don't really know. I'm sure on some of the tougher courses that are naturally more hazardous, it would make a big difference, but yeah. Let's go back to these. I don't know about the team battle. It's something that we might have to acclimatize to separately. Let's go back to Golden Fox for a little bit and try to get a few more unlocks in. Alright, let's go. And yeah, back to not thinking about team colors. It's a bit of a mental adjustment all of a sudden. I don't know if there's a great reason to be doing a lot of aggressive attacking at this early stage when people aren't really that damaged, unless somebody is overly boosting and can be punished for doing so. But basically, I don't understand the combat mechanics yet well enough to understand why you would be engaging with the spin attacks that much if you're not yet in a position to actually land a kill. I guess, you know, you just don't really see what people's health is at a given point, and if you can bump them off to the side, that's great, but I still feel like there's an element of the gameplay here that's pretty fundamental that we're just not seeing when it comes to seeing who can be sniped. Oh. Some bad driving there. I'm keeping an eye on the meter to see what we can do, but yeah, occasionally you can see somebody who's about to die, and yeah, there we go. We have finally hit an intended target for the first time in this game. That's an improvement. And yeah, the immediate energy gain from getting a kill is substantial because it strongly incentivizes going for aggression. We need to just find somebody who's in a weak position without weakening ourselves by running into bombs like the red cars. That is not smart. Oh, and we're in trouble. Somebody's gonna whip me. If they know how to play, they're gonna try to whip me. And we made it. Okay, I guess maybe playing the team mode got us in the habit of being a little more aggressive, and that's beneficial in its own right. We were actually top in brawling. Were we? 199, really? How many KOs were we getting there? Top ranked brawler, interesting. I mean, I guess KOs are hard enough to land at just by getting multiples at any point. Yeah, just by getting 2 KOs, we're at the top of the board, so. And we're top 3 for Golden Fox as well, hence the bonus. Rivals defeat is 3. Oh yeah, no, that's the rivals, right. But yeah, 2 KOs is enough to just get the bonus. Mini Pre, we love Mini Pre, let's do it. And sure, let's do it as Golden Fox just to give it a try. And yeah, Luca, that's exactly what we're doing here. Very chaotic. Which just makes me think of Knockout in the Cuphead announcer voice. Okay, hopefully we just don't disconnect from a mini pre. That's the main unpleasant thing about it. If you just lose your position in a multi-race sequence due to connection issues rather than racing issues. Yeah, I guess you can just boost through the pit, maybe, and that would solve some issues. You hit the jump, you just try to spin out of that immediately. We're a bit low in health. I'll just snipe somebody here. The thing is, the animation of somebody on fire and smoking is something that I keep confusing with the animation of somebody attacking and surrounded by lightning, which is maybe not something that we want to confuse. That's two very different situations that the cars can find themselves in. Yeah, we've got a couple of the red bomber cars coming this way too. Yeah, if we're about to hit the ramp, we might as well just spam the attack to drop it before we replenish. Oh, there's one. Oh, missed him. We did get him. That's the important thing, but at what cost? Oh, I should remember that I'm in the middle of a mini pre too. I shouldn't be doing that when we actually do want to progress to the next race. Yeah, I was basically thinking, oh look, somebody's on fire, let's target him, and then we just slammed into the wall. Whoops. Not clever. Let's stay in Golden Fox though, because we don't have the mini pre decal for it yet. And we'll see. I mean, just surviving the 3 races will be pretty significant. Okay, there we go. Yeah, getting the boost up front is very nice because we're basically leading the pack ahead of time, and then we'll try to boost through immediately while we have some space to work with. You just get out of the pack until everybody tries to catch up to you. Whoa, okay, getting hit a lot here. And yeah, we're in a bit of peril. Somebody will be gunning for me, I'm sure. Alright. Yeah, let's survive. Just barely. That's okay, we recovered that position. Yeah, the thing is trying to go for the attack does throw off my ability to drift, which is a bit of an issue. Okay. We were close enough to the full meter. We didn't really hit golden car to do that, but it works. Yeah, we're way behind at this point, but starting out in first place really doesn't get you very much. I feel like how it feels like everybody's still in the race, even this late. Mostly because everybody's packed together so closely. That's not a feeling you get in Mario Kart, which is all about pulling way ahead where you can. Let's boost all the way to the finish. See how many places we recovered there just by having a sizable bank? 12, okay. Now, if we just survive the next 2 races, our overall rank should actually be, hopefully, decent. And yeah, we were the top Golden Fox despite being in 12th place. Didn't collect very many sparks, of course, just given our position. Anyway, hopefully we don't DC. Okay, Deathwind. Look at this guy with a B-. He's decked out. But yeah, we'll try to go for the top 25 finish with the Golden Fox. And get a little bit of a rear boost from people coming in from behind. Oh, totally missing that. That's okay. We can actually see the wind when we're not as tightly packed with the other racers, which is an improvement. And we should be using the drift to compensate for it. That's the intended mechanic here. Somebody, maybe. Gotta stay off the edges, though. Like crashing out after that narrow band. Let's not boost too much here. Nope, we're in danger. Let's try to get on the Skyway as soon as we can. Okay, we've recovered a fair bit over here. And got quite a bit of explosion going on now. Okay, let's not boost too much. But at this point, you can go. That was reasonable. Almost. 32nd? Okay, maybe worse than I expected, but things got a little wild back there. Yeah, a bit of a drop, but again, with everybody so closely packed within a second of each other, that's just how it'll shake out, and that's going to be 18 overall, still top 25, and it's actually the overall point rank that determines which group of rivals you're with, which makes sense. Yeah, I really like how the rankings work from race to race. I feel like it's in this Grand Prix format, even in the 3-race mini-prix, that the mechanics truly shine. And so yeah, you start off with your rivals in your own pod, in your own starting pod, as you can see here. You get your own lane of 5. Yeah, there are a lot of original design decisions that made this format work. This was a very carefully considered design in many ways. And I have to give that some appreciation. Ah, yes, okay. Gotta make sure we make the jump. Pull back into it. Yeah, let's keep our health up until we know what we're doing. All the mag rails and everything else. Wow, getting smoked. Gotta get out of there and heal up. And make sure we pull back into the jumps. That's for safety. Yeah, I think I'm going for survival. We're just going to try to stay alive for now until the pack thins out a little bit. Ooh, mag rails are always something that throws me off, despite the fact that we see them coming. We just know that we need to drift away. So I haven't really had a clean run around the edges there either, which is why we haven't been boosting so much. A little far back, but oh, that's nice. Can we hit it again? Almost at the Skyway though. In terms of the point total. I guess after a while you just kind of acclimatize yourself to the pace of F-Zero as you tilt back and forth. Oh, and getting an easy time over to jump is nice. Definitely appreciate that. Let's not burn too much health here because we do know how much trouble we could potentially get into with collisions. Okay, recovered a bit on the mag rails. Oh no, we're too low. We're too low. Nope. Too bad. We were doing well. Yeah, that's a crash out. Yeah, too bad. We were so close in the final lap to actually having a decent finish. But that's how you learn the risk and reward pace here. And we still get a certain number of points, which will give us a final ranking in some fashion. And not a very good ranking, but we do get points, but we won't get the decal for the 25. And yeah, we can just do pro tracks until the Grand Prix. Let's go back to Blue Falcon just to get back into familiar territory. Yeah, I find the top 3 to be pretty viable. I find the Stingray to be a bit fragile for me right now, but we may just have to learn it. I like how much boosting you can do with the Golden Fox. Anyway, barely hanging on to the B- bracket. We'll see what we can do here as we get through the minefield. That is the Port Town 2 entrance. Whoa, like I said, the minefield. And we're way down already. We're near the back of the pack before we're even entering the race. Okay. Maybe we'll just get back in the Skyway. For too long. Okay, let's skip the repair and just make sure we get back in order here. We're too far back. It's dangerously close to ranking out, which, oddly enough, I don't think has happened to me yet, because we usually crash out first in perilous situations. Okay, gotta swivel. Swivel and shake. Oh, there's a gold. We'd rather replenish health, and then now we'll go. Hit as many of these boosts as we can. And hit this again. No. Not quite. That's okay, just ramming into it is fine. We don't actually need to spin it. Getting in this bit of trouble here, though. Oh, I see someone fragile there. Let's see if we can smack him. There we go. That was intentional for once. Let's skip the mag rail area, which is great. That's perfect time to get up onto the skyway just to bypass that spot of difficulty. At least on this lap. And we'll have reasonable health going into the next pit stop, I think. Of the bombardment here. And have some health for boosting. Possibly, well, not if we drive like this we do. Okay. Not too bad. Defeating our rivals in a B- class, too. Yeah, Blue Falcon's going to be popular, naturally. And we even got a new record in there somewhere. Yeah, let's keep doing more pro tracks. Stay on Blue Falcon. Yeah, so far it's just been Whiteland and Port Town for the pro tracks, as far as I can tell. We do know that Silence is on the playlist for the Grand Prix, but I guess not enough people have gotten there to really unlock it in the rotation, if that's how it works. Where it's based on whether players have seen courses already and are able to seed them in the pool. I felt like that worked well for SMB 35 in spite of the slow start to the game when it came to course diversity taking some time to pick up in the early days. Alright, we were high up for a while and then further back in the pack again. Let's hunt for attacking opportunities where we can. Whoa, that was awful. Yeah, let's just get out. And yeah, the better you race on the Skyway, the more boosts you manage to hit. That's the incentive for playing that way. And having something to work on while you basically get a bit of a free ride. Well, that was actually not great, but we can hit it multiple times maybe. That works. We just bump it from behind until something sticks. Just try to amass points. Whoa. Bit of a shave there. Now we are in the final lap, so let's keep that in mind as we look for opportunity to boost ahead. Okay, not a great finish, but we survived. It's actually fairly rare that I survive and don't end up in a top 50, because I think I tend to take a few risks. Where if we're living that long, usually it's because we've successfully made some kind of gamble. That's okay, we'll take it. Surviving a track still counts. We should get some of the basic decals on a Stingray at some point too, of course, but I think we'll just play the pro tracks through until we get a shot at the next Grand Prix, and then we'll see how much longer we want to stay after that. And yeah, it's just Whiteland and Port Town the whole way, but, you know, they're fun and add a bit of risk and lead to all kinds of calamity. Not going to get a clean race out of these. Yeah, here it seems like the ideal place to get up to the Skyway is to skip the Magrail segment so we just don't have to deal with it. But we were getting better at it. Slowly. Let's not hit the opening minefield too much. Yeah, because even the opening area is a bit rough here in Port Town. As you load into the track with a boost into the loop. Doing all right in terms of meters. So let's get up into the Skyway and go up to full, and then we'll be in really good shape. It dropped me out right before we did stop. That was not ideal. Now we were out of position for repair. Whoa, trying to snipe there, that didn't work. Oh, no, we're playing too risky now. If I get bumped, I'm in big trouble. I'll play defensively. Nope. Oh, we get to play Lucky Bumper. Alright, so... no, that's not an opponent, that's just... Oh. Do we get to boost now? No, we just have to position in front of them. Even obstruct one of the rivals, maybe. Kind of a nice way to... some points. Oh, okay. Alright. Not too bad. Or an awful finish. Yeah, that's just a bumper bonus for the ticket points. That's all it is. Look at that, level 10. Score a KO and it will increase your max power. Yes. So that's why that time with the 2 KOs we managed to do so well. Yeah, we've played this for long enough that we've exhausted a lot of the current course diversity. Obviously, once we do the Grand Prix, we'll hopefully survive long enough to have a shot at unlocking Silence. But yeah, let's stay on Blue Falcon for the moment. Too bad about some of the connection errors. It's not bad for single races, but for the Mini Prix or Grand Prix, that's not what you want to have happen. Particularly if you miss the 10-minute window for queuing into a new one. Anyway, like I was saying about connection errors, I guess we'll see more tip sheets. Let's see if we can actually get into a race. That'd be nice. And yeah. Well, it helps to practice some of these ones in preparation. Because we still haven't had a very clean sequence through the magnet track in this course. Alright. Try to get into a reasonable position. Get out of the pack. Yeah, this little junction here, that's a huge problem usually as well. Taking so much damage before we even hit the first pit. Okay, that actually was a reasonable run through Negro. Oh no, I totally misread that. I thought it was a target. That was just somebody spinning. Whoops. Totally misread it. Shouldn't have gone for that. Alright. That was not great near the bottom of the pile because we were very careless. 40 seconds on this queue. Hopefully it fills in. But if it doesn't, we'll head to the Grand Prix. I don't know if I'll do it as Falcon. We did the last one as Falcon, so we might do the next one as Goose or something. Although we didn't finish the last one as Falcon, so who knows. What do we got this time? Slight advantage for Port Town. Always nice to think that your vote mattered. By the time you get up to B rank, people aren't decorating their badges, which I guess I should do, but... let's play some more. And just try to get out of the entry. This time we don't have to deal with the minefield and everything. I just noticed that we're having an easier time of it. Whoa, that was awful. Not good at all. Okay. Let's get over here. Whoops. Yeah, I noticed that some people are taking a ton of damage on the mag rail, and so intuition was correct there, that we should be attacking into that. Let's heal up first, and then we'll take this. Okay, at least we had some visual preparation for macro area here. Oops. Yeah, let's not try to attack with a boost into corners like that. That was a bad idea. Wow. Yeah, we can attack with a spin, we can't attack into the boost when we're around a bend. That was not the way to play. We got a KO and everything too. Okay. So Grand Prix does take 3 tickets. Scored a first KO in a race, that's interesting. Yeah. We will play it. And we'll play it now in case we crash out early, and then we'll have enough for a second round. We'll play it as Goose, I think. Just for a bit of a change. Nope. Is it going to spoil my ticket count? Did it spend 3 tickets? It did not. Good. Right. If it had started a race, it would have. That's quite costly. I'm quite satisfied just to finish one of these. So, maybe we should play cautiously for survival, but easy to say until you are actually in the race. What's going to bump me up? I would like to do that. Yeah, the first boost must be alright. I'm glad if Mute City people are actually staying on the track this early, and so the crowd does not know very much. Yeah, I probably should have waited until after replenishment, but that's okay. We'll take it. Boosting through here is probably fine. Good. That was actually targeted and we got it. Pretty generous range when you know what to look for. And we've got a lot of crashing at this point. Pretty low ourselves. Let's go up. Go up and then go for this. Oh, this is the first boost, not great. Whoa. Don't want to land directly on that. Or that. Yeah, we can heal up here, that would be... Ooh. Yuck. Still close to the finish, too. Alright, that's 3 tickets blown. Let's spend it under 3. Yeah, standing too close to the bomb cars at the end there. That was not great. If we just lasted a few more seconds cautiously, too, that would have been perfectly fine. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to let me exit until the next one begins, and then we can drop out. And requeue. I think I have enough time to, since we died so early. We were doing fine in terms of rank the whole time, too. Advancing was not an issue, but... Anyway, we'll get out if it'll let me. There we go. Looks like Mini Prix and Grand Prix do contribute to the same pool here, so... We'll stay on Goose. Not that the durability helped very much. Actually, maybe the recovery isn't quite good enough. I sort of like the... Yeah, because the recovery, I think, is the health replenishment from the pad, which is why... Let's switch back to Blue Falcon. Which is why Golden Fox does so well when we just have a good pit stop, because recovery, I think, is the pit stop stat. Anyway, let's go. Well, best placement we've had today was third. Would have been nice to land a first on stream, but, you know, isn't the most likely thing in a game this competitive. It's not like this is Mario 35 where having the Mario skill set went a long way, making it viable to actually have a non-trivial win rate. I think it's often said of games in the Battle Royale format that, you know, you have this gulf between people who have, say, a 40% win rate and people who have never won at all. That either you know how to do it or you don't. I'm sure that's very much the case with Tetris 99. Because you get to the final two in Tetris 99, which I've done many times, you wind up with at least one of the two remaining people being somebody who actually knows how to play Tetris, and will just win every time in a 1v1. Oh, we could have hit that. We're pretty far back right now. I have to remember that this is Grand Prix format, we just need to survive and not run too far back. Just a final lap. Okay, got a KO there, great. Yeah, going for the health boost from KO in the final lap, I think, is absolutely the trick. We fell back quite a bit near the end, but that was acceptable. Kind of right on the C+, B- boundary there when it comes to the rivals. I'll be happy if we manage to retain B-. Because we're pretty close to the edge on that here. Look at that, person with rank 17. They've been playing all day. Level 17, another one with something in the high teens. Alright, let's try it again. We will look at the workshop and badge customizations at least once at the end. I'll probably wrap up after the Grand Prix, as long as we don't die instantly. I'd like to put in a decent effort to actually finish the race. You know, I think the KO bonus for my total is actually permanent. It persists between courses, which I don't think I realized up till this point, but it's actually a significant incentive. Whoa. And of course, it's not going to be much of a help if we lose right away, and course number 2 here. Oh, and somebody just repaired in front of me. That's too bad. Just about to kill him, too. Yeah, because you actually do want to get some KOs early in the run then, because then you get a much more generous bank for future races, which I didn't realize. So as long as we don't squander this advantage by running into everything. Well, let's see, because we can run into some of these. No, too late to get that KO. And we're pretty low ourselves right now. Okay, play it safe, play it safe. Let's try to go for the other Skyway next. Whoop. Okay, let's go for it, and then we should have enough energy left over for a boost near the end. Except we're going to get bumped like crazy. Whoa, okay. I don't know if we'll make it here. Nope, we won't. Too risky. Right there at the finish line, too. So much for that Grand Prix. We're going to get bumped to C-, aren't we? Almost. Yeah, right at the end. That was the second last one to crash out. Too bad. Yeah, but now we understand that about the Grand Prix, is that going for the KO count early will matter. Anyway, we're going to quit out of this one. If it will let me. Yeah, too bad it just locks you in instead of letting you exit. Okay, and we spent all our ticket points anyway, not that we'll get much done with it. Anyway, we're probably done racing for today, but we'll mess around in the workshop a little bit first. And yeah, we got barely into B-. Also, the leaderboard's not loading very well. I think maybe some of the connection issues have probably been on my end. Let's try it again. Nope. Well, let's take a look at a workshop. Machines, pilot cards, records. So yeah, we obviously don't want to take the participation ones. Then interface-wise, yeah, we can change my machine. Anything else? Boost? Sure, we'll take the boost. Why not? Make everything a little flashy. And yeah, we're still on the participation one here. Finish. A lot of this is top 25, and of course, you can finish first. Someday, perhaps. A long ways off from the leaderboard points per vehicle. So yeah, a lot of this is per vehicle. And got similar rewards between Blue Falcon and Wild Goose since we did alright with both of them. We got almost nothing with Fire Stingray because it went terribly. We got nothing actually, we just got the level 5 one. Well, I might as well match the colors a bit. Pilot cards, however, what do we do? A couple of backdrops. These are just based on the levels. And this is all just participation, it's not particularly special. We'll just get something that looks nice. Score 50 KOs eventually. Okay, so it's the next benchmark, basically. 99 seconds airborne. Empty power meter. So, yeah, sure, let's score the first KO. Spend some time airborne and have the empty power meter. Sure, let's just fill things in. And then we have the level 10 border, okay. Oh, okay, no, but pilot card is per vehicle, so actually... Yeah, I guess we can change some of them over. But these unlocks are the same. But basically, depending on what you drive, you can change every single one of them. And that's okay, we're not going to bother filling out it now, I don't think. Well, I mean, we're here anyway, we can just go with a few of these. We'll deal with it later. You get the idea. Record so far, not actually that much playtime total when it comes to actually being in the race. As you can see here. 20 KOs so far, that we just hit that. And yeah, we actually have barely tried Stingray, but it didn't go well. Highest rank 92. That was just over 2 races. And best result today would have been the 3rd place with the Goose. So, quite a few stats to work with here. These are the ones per track. And you can see we've got a couple of tracks with 2 KOs, and that we've only seen 6 tracks so far, and the one we're missing is obviously Silence. Because we just haven't made it that far. I guess that's all that's available at this point, which is why there's been a fair bit of repetition. And yeah, the other leagues are unavailable because they're starting people off easy, I suppose, but limited course selection. We may stream this again when there's more content. I'll probably be continuing to play it off stream, of course, but looks like we don't really get to see where we are in the leaderboard, but that's okay. We know it wasn't all that many points when it came to the weekly. So, probably was on my end that we had all these connection issues. Yeah, too bad about that. Love how you see a different vehicle every time with the loading screen, though, even if it is just a loading screen. Alright, we won't get to see it. But we'll finish in level 10, B-. Pretty happy with our progress over a comparatively short stream by my standards today. And it's nice to get a first look at this and kind of go through the learning process, even though we haven't been too successful so far, particularly with the Grand Prix. Like I've been saying, I might stream this sporadically, but not regularly. And we'll hopefully have something else coming in tomorrow's broadcast. I've had a couple of ideas between now and Super Mario Wonder, mostly involving some shorter or smaller games from time to time, or things that are more obscure. We'll see what we can fit in, because time tends to fly. Thank you so much for watching. We'll leave you to it, and until we meet again, have a great day ahead of you. Enjoy everything you might be playing, be it something that has 99 players or something that merely has 1. And we'll hope to see you again soon. you all, as always, fare thee well.